Hi everybody, we're going to talk about what's on. So today I'm wearing a piece out of this season's collection. It's this Model 3 sport coat in a really unusual shade of kind of brown and taupe and gray all mixed together. An ascot Chang button-down shirt in an ecru color. Charcoal trousers. I believe this was winter arrival. I had these custom made by Pamela, but of course you can do it with Rota, a ring jacket, or even under the Model 100 series, whatever you like. Shoe-wise, I'm wearing Koji Suzuki's Leggera loafers. This is our kind of heavy lug sole on a black grain leather, and it's really good for weather like we're having in Hong Kong, where it is really hot and really wet. And we had a typhoon over the weekend, and we had to close for a couple of days, which is kind of annoying. But other than that, all good. Okay. Oh, sorry, and wrist check. Wrist check today is just a nice little old brigade. Now, why am I wearing this today? I've never really worn this color. I really like this color. You know, I've never had like such a gray shade of taupe. You know, typically with taupe and with sort of brown jackets, I tend more towards yellow, right? It's a little bit easier to match, and you can wear with chinos and whatnot. Whereas like when you have these sort of taupey black grays, right, they match really, really well with dark charcoal trousers, although you could also wear them with white trousers as well. And so I wanted to just have something like that in my wardrobe, and just for the sake of it, you know, it's always nice to fill out the palette in your wardrobe, isn't it? Let's see, what are we gonna look at today? So we're almost into August, and when it gets to August, I am panicking because I didn't order all the stuff I wanted for spring summer, and then I am compensating for that by thinking about what I'm going to be ordering for fall winter. So we'll start with the panicking part. Maison Hellard, lovely fabric company. They do only linens, and they do beautiful linens. And they have just sent their latest bunch. I know it's not a terribly polished looking thing, but I promise you the fabrics themselves are wonderful, and the designs of them are wonderful. And actually, I want to show you the first one because it's also named after us, the Arcade, aka the Pedder Arcade. Lovely shades of brown, beautiful blue overcheck. It's probably a little too late for me to make this with one of our tailored companies, but it could make for a great city hunter or safari. So I actually bought a piece for myself, and I'm super pleased with it. So I'm gonna get that dropped off at Ascot Chang ASAP. Now, Loro Piana has released their latest fabrics for 2026. They just arrived in the store. So it's Proposta Jacquet for 2026 and Proposta Abiti for the suits. And I pulled out a few things because I wanted to highlight them to you guys. You know, hopefully it kind of gets your juices going in terms of what you're going to order this year. So first I want to start with LP has this nice quality called Sopraviso and Cashmere. Sopraviso is a domestic sheep local to Loro Piana, and it has a nice hand, it has a nice body, and it takes color really well. Like, I quite like the palette that's created when they use Sopraviso fabric. It's, you know, not as soft as like merino wool. It's got good body, and the cashmere at least gives it kind of a nice smooth hand. These are my three picks on the jacket side. You know, lovely shades of country colors, but this one is quite interesting too, like just a touch of blue in it, in that green. Next, I want to show you the Dream Tweed. So Dream Tweed is kind of Loro Piana's version of tweed. Beautiful melange colors, but at the same time, much softer, smoother hand. And you know what, I'm really into purple, so I really like that. That purple with that big blue overcheck, super cool. But this is lovely. I really love that too. That's super interesting. A little bit of a Donegal effect going on there. On the suit side, firstly, I want to show you the Sopraviso again. They marked it as Sopraviso for suits. Honestly, I think they'd be great jackets. You know, just like solid color jackets with a nice amount of texture to it. That's a sort of taupey gray brown, that's an olive brown, and that's a really beautiful shade of blue. All these three would make for wonderful, wonderful blazers or safari jackets, whatever you like. And finally, for us in Hong Kong, where it doesn't get cold until a bit later in the year, I wanted to highlight this. So this is the twister fabric that LP does. So twister fabric is what they call a natural stretch fabric. It doesn't use elastane, it will hold a crease nicely, but it has just a little bit more give in both axes. And it's very comfortable to wear, it's very light, so you should be good even in the warmer weather. You actually might struggle with this in somewhere like New York in the winter because it might be a little too breathable, a little bit too light. But for like early fall or for New York until, for Hong Kong until later in the year, you should be totally fine. And plus I love these three colors, especially that one. I think that is extremely, extremely beautiful. Okay, two more things. I took a holiday last week. That was really nice. I was in Japan, in Okinawa, and I couldn't help myself. There's this project I've wanted to work on for quite a while. A long time ago, like back in 2021, I did this market research survey called the Ideal Watch Size Survey. And I've always wanted to kind of like just refine it and resurrect it. And I finally, during my holiday, had some free time, so I put it back together and I relaunched it. And if you get a chance, I would love if you could take it. Okay, the website is theidealwatchsizesurvey.com. Gives you the opportunity to talk about like what's your favorite watch size, talk about like what's your wrist size, talk about your preferences for watches. I love data. I think it's super interesting, and obviously like I'm happy to share the analysis with you after the survey ends. So if you have a chance, please check it out. Next, Coherence. So if you're a fan of Coherence's wonderful outerwear and other sportswear, Coherence will be doing a pre-order event for their Spring-Summer 2027 collection. We're going to do it here first in Hong Kong, August 6th to 9th, and then we're going to do it mid-September in New York. The items available at the pre-order trunk show might not be available in our stocked collection. It's a great opportunity for you to see, the breadth of what Coherence does, and then just cherry pick like the things that you really like out of it and have it made just for you for delivery around Q1 of 2027. Okay, that's why it's pre-order event. All right, I'm sorry I've been off the Armoury TV for so long. It's been extremely busy, but I have missed speaking with everyone, and it's great to be back. All right, that's for now. Thanks for watching.